Stuart Eisenstadt of the Holocaust Memorial Museum says the Ukrainian people certainly won't buy Putin's claims of Nazism and genocide, and he doesn't think the Russian people will buy it either.
Questions about your finances?
Really?
Can you guys give me a little space, please? A little personal space?
Why won't you answer our questions?
Congressman, you seem to be...
Greetings to all. Now, our regular press briefings and regular meetings here at the embassy. And thank you that on Saturday afternoon you are following closely what happens in Ukraine.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Y en estos momentos tengo a la congresista Cortés de Ocasio-Cortez.
Present or.
Well, Minister Grom, it's great to see you again.
Do you worry about people down in Florida, these candidates playing political ads in the middle of this crisis? Do you think they should suspend?
Well, that's up to the candidates. We've had a couple of hurricanes, as you know, in Louisiana.
Okay. Senator, we so appreciate you taking the time on such a busy day. A decision in that case is expected sometime in June. As for Arizona, that bill still needs to clear the state Senate before it hits the governor's desk. State lawmakers expected to return back to session next week.
What does this mean if you're trying to buy a $400,000 home?
I wanted to say yesterday, so I don't have anything new to add.
Are you still supporting the president?
I don't have anything new to add to what I said.
Would you support Kamala Harris?
If the election were today, I think we retain control, but 4 weeks is 4 weeks. So we're all working hard, and I never take anything for granted.
The concessions would have to be extremely.
Feeling about today's vote?
I don't know yet.
What's it going to take, Mr. Crenshaw, to get this?
I don't know. I got to go to roll call.
Are there enough votes?
And I believe that with this small majority that we have, that when Kevin McCarthy is our speaker, he's going to understand that any legislation that we're going to try to get through the House in the next 2 years is going to need some overwhelming support and endorsement, pretty much, from the Freedom Caucus.
At this point, do you believe it's time for Kevin McCarthy to step aside?
I don't think we're there at this point. I think there's a lot of members in the chamber who want to have serious conversations about how we can bring this all, to a close and elect a speaker.
I think we're in a very interesting economic time, and I don't think that a recovery that we're used to coming out of a recession or going into a recession is compatible to what we're experiencing today.
Pardon me. I will be addressing the media soon.
When is soon?
On my time.
Your time. You're representing the people of New York.
Well, there's not much doubt that the Fed is going to be raising interest rates today, and the bet on Wall Street is 25 basis points. They talked a lot about it before going into their quiet period, the idea that they want to scale back a little bit so that they can make sure of what is actually going on in the economy and not push it into recession.
Following the president's speech tonight, newly elected Arkansas governor and former White House press secretary for Donald Trump, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, will be delivering the Republican response. Ike Ajaji, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
But ultimately, Diane, this is in the hands of Senate Democrats. If just 8 break and join with Republicans on a funding vote today, or those that might come over the weekend, if it fails today or next week, that would fund the government fully. We've got 3. We're watching for additional Democratic defections later today.
So listen, this is a moment where we have to show some backbone and stand up for our democracy and stand up for the people in our states who are getting screwed by Donald Trump's premium increases.
Listen, I don't control that, and I don't control any of it. This is what's frustrating here. But I'm just telling you that this is the course that the Democrats have chosen, and federal workers are affected absolutely. Our military service members, they're not going to get paid. But beyond all of that, we've got millions of Americans who are not going to be able to get any of the services that they need. I mean, it's not good.
Well, I like what came out of Davos and the fact that the president was able to negotiate what seems to be a happy ending for everybody.
I had protesters out in front of my home in South Carolina disrupting the neighborhood. I got a lot of neighbors with young kids, so this is not the way to conduct democracy.
They're now hearing from Brendan Banfield in his own defense, his version of how his wife and another man wound up dead in the Banfield's home.
El aborto a nivel federal. Esta la restringe mucho más, no acepta aborto en casos de incesto, violación, etc.
Well, Trevor, the Pentagon is saying essentially that it is standard operating procedure to erase the phones of an employee once that employee stops working for the Department of Defense.
Lindsay, the Trump team has asked for that special master. That's an individual who would be appointed by the court to review the documents seized by the FBI. And the judge in this case came back very quickly with a request for clarification, elaboration on what the Trump team is actually doing here.
David, there are at least 7 Republican holdouts. Remember, McCarthy can only afford to lose 4. At this point, the only clear way to avert a government shutdown would be to pass a short-term spending bill. Those far-right conservatives in the House say they will not support that, and they insist if McCarthy tries to go around them and work with Democrats, they'll try to oust him as Speaker.
The last government shutdown, we all applied for unemployment, but by the time we applied for the unemployment, we were back at work. And so we never got the unemployment, so we had to go without, So it impacts a lot of us.
The university canceled all classes today. The governor says he's keeping in close contact with officials on the ground as this investigation continues. Em Nguyen, ABC News at Morgan State University in Baltimore.